Good afternoon. Welcome to today's stream. I hope you're well. I hope you can hear me. I think you can. I'm sure you can. I hope the background noise isn't too much. I hope everyone's well. That's what I hope. I just hope stuff, you know? How's it going, everyone? Hey, Shamoni. Who have we got? We have Dog Fluffy, who is claiming to be the first chatter in YouTube chat. Petichu. We just started Petichu, so anyone allow people to join as they can. Yes, Shamoni saying staying cool just about. Things actually cooled down really quickly yesterday. However, yes, I will apologise because we weren't streaming yesterday on our usual scheduled streaming day because literally the train lines melted. That's no exaggeration. It was so hot in the UK that the train lines melted, and so they couldn't reopen them yesterday morning because I had to fix them. So yeah, I couldn't get the train to work. So I was at home again. But today I've been able to get into the office, so I'm here. I'm back in my streaming room, my fully fledged streaming room now. I even have a stream deck. That's fun. I have a stream deck, and I can do fun things like I can flip really quickly. I can do that, and I'm not having to muck about with my keyboard and my mouse and OBS and stuff. I can do it at the press of a button. So Steam Deck for the win. Appreciate that. What else have we got going on? So I might just change the hue of these lights. I want to be softer. That's better. Yeah. Softer lights. Is that better? I think it is actually. I think I look off colour. Nah, I look weird. Let's go white again. Anyway, how is everyone? I'm really well. I'm coping well in the heat, considering. We're quite lucky in that our flat home as well is quite cool. That's cool. Can someone let me know what the title of the stream is, please? I should have updated it. It should say mod review. We should be doing a mod review stream, which you can see there. But the title of the stream on Twitch and YouTube may be different. So please let me know if it is anything but mod review, and I'll need to update it. Hey Iversack, how's it going? Right, so yeah, today we're going to be doing a mod review. It is just me, unfortunately, this is just me. This is the pitfall of coming in on a Thursday. There is literally no one else in the office that can stream with me, and I mean that very literally. There is nobody else here that can join my today's stream. So it's just me. Hope you enjoy the stream. I should really enjoy the stream, that's a silly thing to say. Yeah, so me on my own, we're going to be doing as you can see, a mod review. Reviewing a mod. There's only one mod because this mod is so good that it deserves the full stream. Regardless of how long that stream is, it deserves the full stream to really show it off. So, should we do that? We should do that. What's my favourite? Oh, is that a question for me, Petichu? Peticu? What is my favourite gun from Reticle Research? I'm a big fan of the Tesla coil. I really like the Tesla coil. I like what it does with Tesla coil. I think it's quite a unique block. A unique weapon, sorry. Be my favourite. So let's talk about what we're gonna. Let's get into it, shall we? Let's do some stuff. So I'm gonna go into playing. I'm going to go into the game. So here we are, we're in the game. I'm going to just move this over a bit because that seems to be a shot. And this mod review is going to be focused on... I'm annoyed because I don't have any text to show it off with, but what I do have is a full inventory of quite ridiculous stuff. So let me load in a few of these. So let's just load this up. So this is Shamoni's Black Clams mod. Now I'm going to do I need to release a workshop highlight video. If anyone watches pays attention to our YouTube channel, we release a monthly workshop highlight video, which focuses on some of the awesome things that have been uploaded to the Steam Workshop. And this was and also Sailor Black has been modding TerraTech for a while now. They're one of the sort of more prominent modders. I'm working on a mod, unofficial mod, that wasn't able to be uploaded to the Steam Workshop called Black Clams. And these are a few examples of that mod. Now this is a huge mod. There's about 80 new blocks that they've added, each with their own unique kind of capabilities and unique stuff, right? So let's take a look at them one by one, and we'll do a bit more of a full review of the mods and then what they do now. So this is it's the Black Clams. So I'll just show you. So any block that you have has this sort of spanner icon is a modded block. It is a modded block, right? It's not part of the vanilla game. So there's quite a few different Hawkeye blocks, more Hawkeye blocks, even more Hawkeye blocks. It should mainly focus on Hawkeye actually, so let's just filter that out. So yeah, as you can see, loads of different types of blocks. These are manufacturing blocks, there's some flight blocks, some jet engines, there's some wings, there's some really. So I'll go into these in a bit more detail in a minute. These are really interesting as well. I couldn't quite get these to work. I was testing these out, these nuclear reactors earlier. I couldn't quite get them to work. So if anyone knows or has used Black Clams in the past, let me know what I'm doing wrong because I want to get them to work. You can see there's so many weapons, and each one of these are unique and awesome and do lots of quite interesting stuff. There's some wheels, there's some basic building blocks, corners and whatnot. Some brackets similar to geocorp blocks. There's a new reflex axis gyro. I'm not entirely sure what a reflex axis gyro does, I'll be honest. It looks cool and it's kind of fun. I'm not entirely sure what it does. There's also, what else is this? The gravitational balance. This is like a different take on the mass modifier block. That's what we called it, wasn't it? What did we? What did we do? Where is it? Is it a flight block? No. In fact, it's not a power block. Oh, here it is. Yeah, a mass modifier. There you go. The mass modifier block. So there you go. So this. Where is it gone? The gravitational balance, it works with the mass modifier block. This was like the precursor to the mass modifier block. Awesome. Right. So, what shall we take a look at? Well, there's also, this is just one of the coolest things that have been added to TerraTech. There's a mod. Let me show you how this. Hang on, right. Okay. So let's take a look at each bit one by one. So, this is the new the Black Clams conveyor, and it works exactly like you would imagine it to. 1 second. Let's do some. Let's chop a few bits of wood. Look at that. Tuck them up into this conveyor belt system. And them around this lovely awesome Hawkeye themed Black Clams conveyor belt. And perpetually just spin around that. And what I can do is, I think, and again, I've not entirely used this yet. I've played around with it a little bit, but I'm not entirely familiar with how it works. But I'm hoping I can add things like a fabricator. But let's bosh refinery on here. Is it going to take my resources? No, it's not. I know why. Let's get past them. Okay. Do move this refinery. Take those out. Nope, don't need to do that, please. Oh no, what have I moved now? Come on. Well, let's send them the other way. Let's send them the other way. This is the Hawkeye or the Black Clams refinery on the Black Clams conveyor belt. There's also a delivery cannon, which I might put for this. So let's move these out of the way. Suck in my blocks. It's gonna hold everything up, and I'm gonna pop the delivery cannon on here. And it's going to shoot out my refined resources, and I'm going to make money, make loads of money. There's nothing groundbreaking with this, in that they do exactly what they say on the tin, right? It's a conveyor belt with blocks that already exist with existing functionality, so this doesn't add anything huge in terms of functionality. What it does add is a new, different way of moving your stuff about, and it works, and it's so well polished. Like, look at this little detail, right? So this block here is a T-Junction block. And I know which orientation to put in, because Sailor Black has put this track mark on it, this little T-track mark on it. You can see I'm flowing it over with my cursor. That's a really nice bit of attention to detail, which, even as game designers, sometimes we miss. I don't know if you remember, but the Paladin bomb didn't have a marker on it, so you didn't know where to orientate it on your tech, so you didn't know if it was pointing downwards or upwards, or forwards or backwards. So we had to put we went back to drawing board, literally went back to drawing board with it, and added a marker on the Paladin bomb launcher thing to know which way direction was, which was interesting. Whereas Sailor Black has seemingly thought of all these things. So you can see these are ducts. This is a corner block, or an elbow. These are just ducts. And there's T-junctions, there's X-junctions or cross-junctions type. So this is just fabricating as well. Bear in mind, these are just fabricating blocks, or manufacturing blocks, right? Also, shout out to this resource receiver that is very, here it is here, just blocks in and shoots them down into the conveyors. There's conveyors that shoot them. There's elbow conveyors that point them down. If you want to have multi-level conveyors, I'm not going to build them now because that'll take too long. But you get the vibe. The X junction. Here's the up. Here's the T junction, and then just some more T junction there, and there's a inverter duct. I won't spend too much time on fabricating stuff because this is. Everything else is pretty mundane. There is an auto miner. I haven't played around with this one yet either, but Sailor Black has made their own auto miner, which looks like it's pretty sick, really. So it just churns out. I mean, that animation, this genuinely, and the reason I wanted to spend so much time on just this one mod is because this is one of the best mods I think I've ever seen. I think no one would get mad at me for saying that. This mod is incredible. Like, genuinely, this has a lot of gameplay to the game. It could almost be its own corporation. Honestly, there's so many blocks. It's just, look at the attention to detail on this. Sailor Black, man, this is just absolutely insane. Kudos to you, Sailor Black. Right, cool. If I remember, by the end of the stream, I'm going to put the auto miner on a resource seam and see exactly how it works, because that's really fun. Right, so next up we have there's some weapons. So let's look at what other things we've got. So we've got some flight blocks. There's some jet engines. Oh, these are all weapons. Got some jet engines somewhere. The one thing that Sailor Black has added to their mod is a load of weapons, which you can see here. And one thing that these weapons do, well, they're meant to, but I don't need power going to them. So generally, TerraTech, vanilla TerraTech weapons just require ammo to use, which means that there is an unlimited supply of ammo for the weapons in TerraTech, because There's no, you know, we didn't want to put any limitations on how you can use your weapons, because that just gets, you know, you're getting into ammo sort of territory there, and you know, we want to restrict players on how and when they can use their weapons. Whereas Sailor Black has added a really neat feature. So this is an example of some of their weapons. I'm going to move over to this because these are actually powered up. They put an interesting restriction on how you can use weapons or use the Black Clams weapons, in that they require power to use. So I'll figure out a way of powering these up. But first, I'm just going to show you what these look like. So these are some of the other weapons that require power. Ignore the banana gun because that doesn't quite count. That's just a nice little. So let's just take a look. So these are some of their weapons that require power to use. So I'm just going to hit spacebar. They probably won't last long because there's not enough energy stored up to use them for too long. But this is what happens when you hit spacebar. Ready? And then I'm going to hold it until it runs out. Is there enough power to sustain it? It might be. You can see there's a disruptor. It's plasma mortar. Love the idea of a plasma mortar. It doesn't seem to be doing anything. Could be my fault. A plasma cluster bomb, and then a couple of railguns. And then a big old laser. Spinal laser. Odin's eye, spinal laser. And the little minigun railguns and things like that. So you get the idea. These are ridiculous. That's what I can do. I can go into photo mode. I keep on forgetting that we have a photo mode. Just look at the attention to detail. Again, I'm going to bang on about it, but it's important to know there is a lot of attention to detail has gone into this. So look at the rails on this railgun. Those electromagnets running down the inside, that's what throws out the projectile. There's even a little laser sight on this one. I'm not sure if that even projects laser sight, but it might do. And then just this sort of, these little bits of detail around the outside. Just so well done. Honest to goodness, it's just blew me away when I first started looking at it. And then you've got these ridiculous, these are just the ridiculous ones. I haven't got these picked up for power yet, so we get the idea. These are big railguns, right? These are big old railguns with some sort of reactor inside that's generating the and I wouldn't try and make that up. That big laser looks overpowered. Yes, that big laser will be very overpowered and will do a lot of damage. If you want to check these out, I'm not going to show these off in their full glory on this stream because I just haven't got the time. But please go and check these out. Please go and check this one out. It is too good to sleep on, honestly. Yeah, more of the railguns you saw earlier, but is that a triple giga railgun? It is a triple giga railgun. Yeah, so like I said, Sailor Black, absolutely killing it, man. This is just muy bueno. Did I have the jet engine set up? Did I have the jet engine? Or did I not save that? I don't think I saved it. Oh. No. Alright, let's take a look at... Well, let's just load them in then. Let's load... Don't have any ships to load. Right, never mind. Let's just get rid of these. And then we can concentrate engines. So let's take a look at some of these things. Pop this one in the middle. Let's pop this one here. Come on. Put the other way. Why is it? All the directions. Okay, let's check that on there. Antimatter engine. What does an antimatter engine mean? Right, let's just look at some jet engines. That's what we're all here for, right? Propeller. Jet turbine. There's some more wings and stuff. You can see some wingtips here. Sort of wing extenders, some strato rings, what strato rings do, another big propeller. But what we're here for is these humongous jet engines. Again, I will reiterate this point. The attention to detail is phenomenal. Just look at this thing. It is amazing. This could genuinely, I mean, this is its own tech in its own right. This engine is not even, you can't call it a jet engine. It's ridiculous. A slightly smaller, slightly more modest jet engine here. And then you've got a propeller, a couple of props. It's a little jet engine. A little jet engine. A few props. So what Sailor Black has done is they've added the same features that was on those weapons to these jet engines. So you obviously require power to use them. I can't do anything as they go. Oh, you've got a little bike there. Okay. Oh, you can use them. Nice. And just look at that. What pretty colours. Oh, this is a jet engine as well. I just think they're just the coolest. It's just so nice. Oh, can't stop using those words. I need to use more descriptive words, chat. Remind me. Rumet said, if you made a jetpack using that, you may die. Yeah, that's a good point. But then eyeless access, not with enough gyros. Chat. Anyone in chat? Does anyone in YouTube chat or Twitch chat or even Facebook chat? I don't know there's people watching. Oh, there's no one watching on Facebook. What does the... What was it called? How does the reflex axis gyro work? Anyone know? I'll bring it out anyway, just so you can have a look. I don't think it's going to do anything. It's not going to activate. It's not going to do anything. Oh, that's fun. Lock on. Which means, oh, that's kind of fun. I can now a bit more detail. So you can see the fans are going on, the propellers are going, the jet engines, the awesome. I mean, that little. The particle effect on that, I just think looks so nice. The reflex axis gyro adds a jolt of speed for turning acceleration. Does that be your... Okay. Does the orientation of the of that gyro matter? Does it need to be orientated in a certain way? Does it need to be upright, or can it be laid flat? Yeah, it dampens turning drift but not actively turning. Right, I think I know what this means. So let's tell me I saved these snapshots. I don't know if I did. I'm just a clever man. No, I didn't. The jet engine stop work. Okay, so the jet engine just stuck on for some reason. I'm not doing that. That could be a bug. So you have an all-axis, you have a what do you call it? Reflex axis gyro. So this gyro helps you. It'll take me too long to build something with it. This gyro helps you. Gives you a bit of an acceleration boost around corners. So that literally adds functionality to your tech. The fact that these weapons have a restriction of they may be ridiculous. So this, not only has Sailor Black made artistically, like the models, the 3D models look phenomenal. Thought about the actual design of them as well and how they can be implemented. It's one thing having a really strong weapon, but it's another thing having a weapon that kind of fits into the game, right? So, yeah, having that restriction of it being able to be powered by power is a balance of that, right? That's just good game design. So full marks to Salem Black for that. Your microphone audio is cutting in and out a bit. Oh, sorry about that. If it's a problem, let me know. If it keeps on happening, let me know. I'll try and talk louder. I think I've been messing around with our audio, with our mic audio. So if it keeps happening, let me know, and I'll see if I can do anything about it. I get to watch the TerraTech streams. It's surprisingly quiet here, not going to lie. Is the YouTube side more populous? Yeah, it's pretty even at the minute. 17 each. 17 on YouTube, 17 on Twitch. But also, yeah, we also stream on a Wednesday as well. This is just a one-off Thursday stream because I couldn't stream yesterday. Right, okay, so those are the jet engines. Now let's look at one of my favourite blocks from the modding scene. This is something that it's been talked about for a while. And shout out to Whitepaw, who actually implemented the code work for this stuff. He implemented this functionality. I'm going to pop this up here. So this block is called the Hot Cockpit. Right, let's get that out of the way. It's clipping the silence too tight. Oh, okay, all right. I'll mess around with the settings in a minute, or for next stream. I'll have to power on through because I can't. It'll take me too long to mess around with the audio. Maybe if I bring it closer. Maybe if Mike comes into shot. There we go. Is that any better? Let me know if that's any better. Maybe I need to talk directly into the mic. Anyway, so this is the Hot Cockpit block, and what it is, it's called the first-person view block, right? It's kind of what it was introduced for. And what it does is, if I hit R on my keyboard, it's going to switch to first-person view. So this diamond tells me that this is going to be the direction I'll be facing. So I'm going to hit R now, and now I am in first-person view. And I'm on top of a weapon, which is handy because there are some slight. Are these crosshairs? Can we call these crosshairs? So anyway, so if I hit spacebar, I can kind of see where I'm aiming, right? There you go, my laser's kicking off now. It's a really neat block. The cockpit block, or the first-person view block, it's so nice. It's so nice. Go check it out. Oh, this person needs to be blocked on YouTube. Block user on YouTube. Goodbye. Cool, right, so let's take a look at something else. What else can we look at? So we're halfway through the stream, it's half past. We've looked at the first person view, but can I play around with this block a bit more, or should I find other stuff? So there's the mass modify block, which we already kind of know what that does, because that is already in the game. Let me see if there's any other. So there's a bacon block. This was one of the first modded blocks I ever saw, with a lovely bacon strip. There's the banana gun, which you've already seen. I think it's on the end here. Yeah, there it is. You can see it at the end here. There's the first person view, there's the gyro, there's the ballast block. Nothing else in GSO, anything in Geocorp. Nothing coming out in Geocorp for this mod, unfortunately. Anything in Venture? Oh, okay, there's a new Observatory. So this is another, I'm assuming this is another first-person view block. Let's get rid of that. Let's have the Observatory on the top. Oops. Yeah, another, yeah, there you go. Oh, nice. Again, a nice bit of detail. That little arrow telling me where I'm moving, where I'm aiming. Just special. And you can see perfectly aligned. So cool. So cool. Right, so that's another first person view block, but for Venture. Is there anything else to mention, or is it just that? It's just that one block. Right, and then Hawkeye, so we've seen, let's see what we've seen. We've seen the, well, I'm not going to go into detail. There's some more sort of blocks, so corner blocks, things like that. You've seen those anyway, so more corner blocks. Some wheels. These aren't, again, I'll load these in, but these aren't. Oh, no, let's load these in actually. Whoa, okay, right. Let's see what these are like. Right, so these are a couple of the wheels. Or a few of the wheels. So dark, I can't see. Just huge, just big wheels. There's one, there's two. Okay, nice. This is symmetrical. I was worried this would be left or a right jobby, but no, they've made it symmetrical. So there's equal attach points on either side, so it means that it can be a one. It just has to be, it can only be one block, and then this is a. I'm assuming these bits. I'm going to assume these bits light up. Okay. Bit of suspension on there as well. I can't tell you, well, I literally can't, because I've never tried making a block in my life, a modded block in my life, but I can't tell you how much time and effort would have gone into doing these blocks. I don't know. But a lot, it'd be a lot. Then we have some melee weapons. So tusks help with melee fighting, and then some of the weapons that I showed earlier. The mortar. Locust, there's some more armoured weapons. It's a window block. There's some more sort of cockpit style blocks. Nose fairing, if you want to make like a nose, it's air intake was designed to be mounted on Black Clams Cascade engines. Oh, so it's a little intake for one of the engines. They've got a little block collector. Navigation. Black Clams navigation. What does navigation computer do? What does a navigation computer do? Let's have a look. Let's read it, shall we? This Black Clams developed navigation computer incorporates both a speedometer and altimeter into a single structural block. You can see the altimeter, I can't see a speedometer. Maybe it's because we're in R&D, we don't need it. No speedometer on this one though, which is a shame. Maybe this one doesn't work. Some more blocks. Right, so there's a couple that I wanted to show. This Reactor. Let's pull this one out. And a fuel cell, right. Debbie, have you played around with this yet? Tell out if you have. Because I'm going to close all these down. I'm going to send all these back. I don't need these. But it is always on in R&D. I can't see the speed. I can see the altimeter. Anyway, well, we'll worry about that later. What I need to do now is load a fixed anchor. Let's put tab on now. Switch over to that. And then go back to there. I'm going to add these on here. So these are the fuel cells for the reactor. Now, if I'm reading the block description right on this, and again, just take a second to appreciate how awesome this looks. Oh, I'm an idiot. It's right there, Charmony. It's right there. The speedometer is, yeah, so speedometer is always on in R&D. Right, you're absolutely spot on. I'm an idiot. I'm not thinking straight. I'm too excited about these blocks. Yeah, it's right. It literally says it right here. I'm an idiot. Ugh. That's gonna be. Don't click that. Please don't click that and make me look like a fool. Okay, right. But this one definitely doesn't do what I think it should do, unless I'm reading the block description wrong. So in my head, let's read this. So this is the Gleitner nuclear reactor, right? Despite success of the windmill, Black Clams developed a militarized reactor anyway. The Gleitner is a powerful piece of hardware, though astronomically heavy and expensive. When placed on a tech, with nuclear fuel cells, it causes them to begin generating power. The more fuel cells, the more energy is generated. However, a dire warning, like its namesake, should the Gleitner break, apocalyptic destruction will follow. Right. So, yeah, I mean, let's appreciate the model, right? This model is so nice. Such a cool design. Like, it's a real kind of that gyroscope feel to it. So what I'm looking at, right, so based on that block description, if I attach it to a tech, which I have, I'm currently in a tech, with some of the fuel cells, a large nuclear fuel cells, I love that. I don't care about the functionality. What happens when you blow it up? I will do that. I will do that in a minute. I'm going to blow it up. Don't worry. It should be generating power. However, if I was to put a... let's just chuck... Power gauge. Or is it a fuel gauge? Doesn't it? A fuel. Oh, it does generate power. I could have sworn this didn't work when I tested it out. Oh, that's fine then. So I can plot a weapon on this. Let's see what this massive weapon does then, shall we? Let's go up to the bottom. I should pop this on here. Yes. Look at that. Oh! Pain in the battery. So that's it done, right? So it is going to recharge. Oh my gosh, right. It does work then. I couldn't get this to work when I was playing around with it earlier, but I must have done something wrong. So as you can see, it's recharging quite nicely. That's, maybe like go full. But that's fine. Oh no, don't do that. Right, please. Send you back. So let's just blow it up then. Let's blow one up. Let's place. Okay, down over here. Big boom. I'm going to remove this because that doesn't need to be on there. I'm going to turn this into an enemy. Ready? Let's just see what happens. Boom! Oh, that was nice. Let's see that again. I'm doing that again. That was fun. Look at the fallout. Open that gun. Let's just chain them up. Let's chain them up, guys. Might be a nice thing, a nice way to end the stream actually. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Look at it. So nice. Oh, that was a lot of fun. Oh, Salem Black. This is one of just so good. So I think that's most of the blocks, right? That's all the manufacturing blocks. Guy. And then there's some flight blocks as well, which we've looked at the flight blocks. Yeah, we've looked at the flight blocks. There's some more. There is some more power generation blocks as well. So there's a windmill. It's a wireless charger, which I won't go into those now. And then right at the bottom, there's the flight blocks. Yeah, we've seen the flight blocks as well. I think that's going to be it for the modded blocks in Black Clams. Yeah, there's nothing about the future. Oh, there it is. There's a float tank. When attached to this tank heats Celestian crystals contained within, sublimating these into Celestian gas, which has high atmospheric buoyancy due to anti-gravity properties. However, at high altitude, it has decreased effect due to the thin atmosphere. What does it do? Gas which has a high atmospheric buoyancy due to anti-gravity. Okay, so it's anti-grav. Float tank which has buoyancy. So this, combined with the water mod, the unofficial water mod, basically add boats. It makes it into a boat or a submarine, which is awesome, man. It's just the coolest. And then last but not least, I'm not expecting to see any modded blocks in Heretical Research because that's how they roll. Okay, cool, right. There you have it. There you have it, chat. That's Black Clams in a nutshell. I mentioned this earlier and I'll say it again. This is genuinely one of the best mods I've ever seen in terms of its completeness and how well the mods have been made, the blocks have been made, how they've been integrated and implemented, how well designed they are. Really nice, really nice. Any other news? So let's switch to this. Any other news? Console update is coming along. I think we're a matter of a couple of weeks, I think, for the next console update that will address this issue that we've had with the custom corp fabricator that got made its way in. That'll get removed, but it also means that console will get a new update soon, which is good. I mean, everyone loves a good console update, so yeah, enjoy that. What other news? Okay, yeah, so the next update, this next update for TerraTech is going to be one of the biggest. So it's update 1.4.20, 1.4.20, and it's going to have a new biome. So it's going to have that new wasteland biome, and it's also going to have a new ramp blocks for the new fort ramp blocks, and it's also going to have the resource radar. So the resource radar is going in as well. So I showed it on last week's stream with Adriano, with Aid, and that's now ready. We can put that in the game. There's a few tweaks we need to make to it, there's a few sort of quality of life bits to it, but for the most part, it's ready to go. So that's going to make its way into the next update, as well as the new wasteland biome. So about the wasteland biome, actually. Will I just spill water down myself? The wasteland biome has a new resource giver. It's actually not a resource; it's a component giver. It's called the scrap heap, the scrap pile. And we're trying to test out a new way of sort of mining or prospecting that resource, or that component giver. Maybe I'll show you the game actually. 1 second. Let's put under R&D and load into an creative. Oh no, never mind. I can't do it because I'm not on the right. Okay. The scrap. The scrap pile is a new component giver. So it's not a resource giver; it's a component giver. It gives you a component component blocks, so you can make stuff with those. And at the minute, you can only use a particular type of weapon to harvest it. It's one of the lasers, I think. I can't remember exactly which one it is. And that'll give you a particular type of resource or a component. And then as we do more updates, we'll update the resource giver or the scrap heap pile to give different components depending on what weapon you're using. So that's the long-term plan. So that's something that we're working on. So when the update is released, the resource giver or the scrap pile will only work with one particular weapon. That is by design. That is not a bug. That is meant to happen. Check the scrap pile description when you come across one, because it will all be explained in that. Yeah, and we also, the other thing I want to talk about with the Wasteland Biome is we published a poll on Twitter and YouTube yesterday and asked where you would like to see the Wasteland Biome appear in game. So should it be an early game, should it be a mid game, or should it be a late game biome? I fully expect everyone to say late game. I fully expected everyone to be saying, I want more endgame content, I want it to be hard, I want it to be blah, I want it to be this, I want it to be that. Actually, the overwhelming response was mid-game. So sort of around when you get your Venture or your Hawkeye license, kind of mid-game, that kind of mid-game. Which was surprising. I was genuinely surprised to hear that. I thought it would be well over a late-game feature. So we'll take that on board. I mean, chat, generally, I think we've asked you this before, but I think we in chat, you even said it'd be nice to be a mid-game. But, yeah, what do you think, chat? Is it a mid-game type feature, the Wasteland Biome? Is it an early game or is it late game? Let me know in chat. I'm going to try and catch up with some questions. Animation City asked on YouTube, Matt, can we get naturally generated caves? By naturally generated, do you mean... This chair is not comfy. Let me ask the question: how can we get a note? So yes, we can in theory. What I think we mean is procedurally generated caves. So you want to kind of go under the ground. You want to be able to explore and do all this kind of cool stuff under subterranean, right? Unfortunately, the way TerraTech's world generation works doesn't allow that. I mean, in theory, yes. In theory, we could create a biome that goes underground and there's sort of some subterranean sort of caves and things to explore and maybe new resources under the ground. However, TerraTech's camera has a really hard time when there are things in between the when it's pushing the camera down. With basically the camera, I don't know anything about it, by the way. But mid to late game, cool. Animation City, it says mid to late game. Nice. So basically, in theory, yes, we could add a subterranean sort of cave biome, like we're doing with the Wasteland Biome. But at the minute, TerraTech's camera is a bit janky and wouldn't like it too much. So it's not something we will ever rule out, but it's not particularly high on our list of things to do when we can do other fun stuff. Sharmoni did ask, how can a biome be gated to progress? That is a very good question. So the biomes in TerraTech appear depending on, I think it's in relation to your start position. So biomes that have more rarer resources or hard to attain resources generally appear further away from where you are. So the salt flats is probably one of the last biomes you'll see in the game because that has some of the rarest resources like oilite and all that good stuff. So that'll be the furthest away from effectively from your start point or from where you spawned in your campaign. That's currently how the biomes work. It's not a foolproof way. Obviously, it's not entirely gated to progress. Progress isn't entirely gated behind that. Obviously, you can go and explore and find it organically anyway. But obviously, when I say early game, I mean like, is it literally the next biome from the grassland? So you've just spawned in, you've defeated the trade control, you have your inventory. Do you then go off and the next biome you see is a wasteland? That's probably a bit too early, I think, in the campaign. I think you want to get a bit more established in Geocorp and even maybe into Venture before you start getting these really cool different biomes. So yeah, I think mid to late game kind of makes the most sense. So kind of between the desert biome and the salt flats biome, sort of really where I think that kind of makes sense for it to be. I hope that answers your question, Charmani, but good question. Isaac says, are floating islands possible? Yes. I mean, the answer for any of these questions is yes. And in theory, anything is possible when it comes to TerraTech or any video game, really. It's just how that fits in our list of priorities, which is a really kind of gamey dev way of saying, yeah, we can do it, but we want to do other stuff first. It was kind of harsh. But things like floating islands, how would we even do? I don't even know how we would do floating islands. Yeah, I do like the idea of you having these sort of floating little orbs in the air, floating little bits of terrain that you can only access via. Oh, that's a good question actually. Let's go into. Oh no, that's not. Oh, I'm in the wrong building. But yeah, floating little plateau or something that you can access via a plane. You can then only, that has super rare resources on it. Would be interesting. I think that would be a lot of fun actually. That would add a lot more different kind of gameplay to TerraTech. And it would kind of make flying a bit more purposeful, because right now, as we all know, flying is pretty much just using it to get from A to B in the quickest way possible. Yeah, you've mentioned that there could be flying missions where you have to thread the needle between floating islands. Something like that would be really fun, absolutely. I still think we should have both for the sake of having to. I don't know what you're referring to there. I still think we should have both for the sake of having two more bigger than the one radar. Sorry, in response to Sharmani. The Sharmani asked, resource radar will be Geocorp. Yes. So when we showed off the resource radar in the last week's stream, you would have seen it was in Rescue Research. This was just as a placeholder almost. We hadn't decided on which corporation. Excuse me, I get a dry throat. We hadn't decided on a corporation that we were going to put the resource radar into. So we sort of did a generic Rescue Research skin for it. We realised actually there's no point in doing that. We will do it. We'll just add it to Geocorp. So we did. So it now has a Geocorp skin. I'm not in the correct version of TerraTech. I have a super secret dev build of TerraTech that I could show you on, but I haven't got that installed currently. It would take me too long. It would take me too long to find it. So I can't show it off this week, but definitely next week. And actually, the next Unstable is due out early next week. So you can check it out then. But yeah, it is a Geocorp block. Anything else I want to talk about the resource radar? It's gone from my head. Oh, that was a good thing, yes, thank you. So, we've not done this. I mean, it's never been something I've ever done since I've worked on TerraTech, but is everyone still there? I did. I hope everyone's still there. I just turned off my screen, my monitor. Okay, right, everything's still going. The PC's still going. Are we still live on the stream? Right. Sorry about that. That was weird. What was I talking about? Oh yeah, that was it. Nothing I've done or been a part of since I've been working on TerraTech. But historically when we would graduate blocks from R&D into the game, the process would be we would have a placeholder block that didn't do anything. And then we would, in order to add functionality to that block, we would then duplicate that block. So it'd be two versions of the same block, effectively. So in this case, excuse me, for the resource radar, there's going to be there was the original resource radar, which didn't do anything. It was literally just a resource block, a placeholder block that had no functionality, didn't do anything. And then since we've started developing a new resource radar block, we've effectively duplicated that. So there's now two different types of resource radar. There's the original block, and then there's a new one, right? But effectively, they said they have the same name, they have the same description. They have some different stuff in the back end, but ultimately, for the sake of the game, there are two different versions of the same block. Now, when we come to implement the new resource radar, so resource radar 2.0, that actually does the job of resource radar. This looks weird. My fingers are weird. Resource radar 1 is no longer needed. There's no reason for it to be in the game. It doesn't do anything. So it needs to be removed, which is going to leave the new resource radar, right? That's the king. The trouble with that is techs that have used the original resource radar will no longer be able to, the snapshots will no longer be able to spawn in because there is a block that doesn't exist, right? You've seen it very quickly. Let's go here. Let's just take a look. So I can't load in this block, for example, because if I go under view missing blocks, it would say this block no longer exists. I can't load this block because the game doesn't recognize the blocks that are on there as being in the game, so it can't load those. It can't load those texts. That's the way it's meant to work, by the way. That's not a bug. So the problem that we're going to have with deleting and removing the old resource radar is it will break any snapshot that has that old resource radar on it, which we don't want. No one wants that. We don't want to break anyone's snapshots. It's just not a nice thing to do. So our solution to that is we will give you a whole 6 weeks to fix your. So between releasing the new resource radar to then removing the old resource radar, there will be 6 whole weeks where you can update your old text with the new resource radar. If that makes sense. Sharmoni makes a good point and says, keep the old radar and make it a normal radar. Sharmoni, you're talking too much sense. That would be too practical. We like to make things hard for everybody. That's what we do. We're Payload Studios. We make things hard for everybody. Does the current resource radar have any functionality? Let's have a look. Let's take a look. Right, let's load this. So it's currently in theoretical research. We are in R&D, so let's go to Reels. Here's the resource radar. Keep old radar and make it a normal radar and simpler. I think the problem with that idea, so what Sharmoni is suggesting is we don't remove this block. It has some functionality. This isn't a completely dead block. It has some functionality to it. In that it still works as a normal radar, so it just basically increases your mini-map, the range on your mini-map. The trouble is, the model itself I'm going to write this in my Slack channel because this idea is too good to not talk about. Give me 1 second, everybody. Idea from today's stream. Instead of removing the old resource radar, why don't we just use a normal reticule research any it might need a reskin, but that would be preferable to completely removing it. This is literally a message that I'm typing into our Slack channel as we speak. So, idea from today's stream, instead of removing the old resource radar, why don't we just have it as a normal radar, just theoretical research or any other corp? It might need a reskin, but that would be preferable to completely removing it. Bosh. Harmony, you're a genius. It already is a radar. Yeah, it works fine. You're absolutely right. Don't delete it, because that's going to break people's techs, and it can just work as a radar, right? We might need a rename, but I think rename should work. I think the actual rename of the block isn't a problem. It doesn't conflict with the geocore model. It doesn't conflict with it, but if we look, it does look like it does something. It's not just a normal radar. So it may be that we go back and we remodel this block a little bit, so it removes so this front section here where it looks like you need to put a resource on it. That gets changed to something else, but it gets removed completely, or even chop that bit off and it just acts as this spinny bit and it becomes a smaller block. I quite like that idea. Yeah, that makes way more sense. You're a genius. Right, we're up to an hour there, everybody. So, I'm going to leave it there. Thanks to everybody for stopping by. Thanks for joining me on today's mod review. Go check out Sailor Black's mod. I'm going to link it in chat because it's just too good to not brag about. Now, full disclosure, there is quite a few prerequisite mods that you need in order to run Black Clams, but they're all linked and they're all available. So you go check them out. That's the mod. Go check it out in chat, please, because it's just too good. It is too good. Right, that's going to do me for this week. What should we do? Should we do community core? We've not done community core for a while, so when I get back to my desk, I'm going to set up a community core thread. We're going to do community core next week, and we're going to showcase some of the awesome techs, what the TerraTech community has been building. Super. Right, I think that's going to do it. Thanks again, everyone, for joining me. We will see everyone next week for community core. I think I've told you all the news there is for TerraTech. Have a great week, as always. All right, everyone. See you later. Bye.